Welcome to Mid-American Money. I'm Ernie Goss, Professor of Economics at Creighton University and Director of the Economic Forecasting Group, also at Creighton University. Today I'm joined by Tony Hendrickson, Dean of the College of Business here at Creighton, and we're also very fortunate to have Mr. Nick Hudson, who's the CEO of the Hudson 1869 Group, here to join us today. And we're going to talk first about the economy, our survey of the economy, and then we're going to dig in, and we're going to dig into Nick here about how entrepreneurship is being affected by the downturn and how the downturn is affecting entrepreneurship. So we'll talk about that later on, but first let me review our survey, our monthly survey of businesses, 900 businesses in 9 states stretching from North Dakota and Minnesota in the north to Oklahoma and Arkansas in the south, talking about our survey of supply managers in those states. And it's a leading economic indicator. Now, first off, for the February results, which came out on March the 1st, so these are hot off the press, and the leading economic indicator climbs to its highest level in almost 3 years. So this is doing much what the national numbers are doing as well. Job gains were reported for 2 straight months for the first time since July of 2007. Also good news and very surprising, and the numbers that came out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics sort of confirmed our results. So we had them here first, folks. Almost 30% of the supply managers expect prices to increase by more than 5%. So that's, of course, not good in terms of inflation. Too much inflation in the pipeline, according to supply managers. And finally, inventories expanded for the first time since September of 2008. Now, we'd had 16 months of declines in inventory, so the question is, were these planned or unplanned? And we'll talk about these issues later on. So our overall survey results are really pointing to an economy that's rebounding and with some inflationary job gains, much like the national numbers. And so, Nick, you're involved in entrepreneurship, small and big businesses. How's the economic downturn affecting growth and startups and so on in the economy and the economy? Does it look like what we're saying it does?
It's very interesting because from our perspective, we basically, our group is 4 small companies, and they're involved in, as you said, consumer products, so mainly beauty and fashion, either selling our products ourselves, but to big retailers, or to providing services, consultancy services and marketing services to those companies. Well,
you're in the right place. You got beauty here and fashion here.
So. Exactly. This is the we are now. In fact, I was recently, just this last week, I was spent most of the week in LA doing all the pre-Oscar parties, and then I was in New York at the end of the week doing some of the press things. And I'm constantly telling people that Omaha is the new center of the beauty industry. So I think we're proving it. We're proving it here today.
I tell you, the 3 of us, we're a testament to beauty, fashion. Yeah. But how's the but consumers? How's it looking out there? I mean, it still seems weak. Is it? I mean, we're, as you say, we're all 3. We live and do business in Omaha, but we live and do business across the globe.
Sure.
So how does Omaha compare? How are these businesses stacking up?
So those businesses are, and then I have 2 local businesses, but those businesses are national businesses, and those are affected by the national trends. And the end of 2008, 2009 was a very tough year for a lot of the consumer beauty products. As a general standpoint, beauty didn't do too badly. Beauty's always been seen as one of these industries that's fairly recession-proof. In fact, when I used to work for Boots, the Boots company in the UK, we used to provide the Financial Times with an index called the Lipstick Index, and they used to publish it during tough economic periods, because as there are certain products that women buy more as economic times are harder. Because what happens is that people trade down to something that makes them feel good. So maybe they don't go and buy a $300 dress, but they do go and buy a $15 lipstick. Okay. So this lipstick index was very interesting, and basically we were the largest lipstick retailer in the UK. We had 30% of the market. So you could actually track as the economic confidence went down, the lipstick sales actually went up.
Okay.
And this has proved over 50 years to be a very interesting indicator.
Well, I know, Tony, your lipstick purchases are probably steady.
Yeah, they're pretty flat.
Okay. What are you seeing, Tony, in the consumer out there?
Well, I think there's a pretty much a lack of confidence. I think people are really concerned, even though the indicators say that there's some rebounding of the economy. Consumers in general are still very, very cautious.
Would you be buying some of the beauty-related companies?
Only Nick's.
Only Nick's companies.
I'd be a little cautious. You know, there's some things that are anti-cyclical in nature. Maybe, you know, lipstick may be one of those. But I think that I would be cautious about consumer products. I don't think that there's a lot of confidence there.
Is Max Factor? I mean, that's how far back I go. I don't.
Right. So Max Factor is owned by a big corporate. So now there's a number of big corporates.
Who owns
that own
Max Factor?
Max Factor is actually owned by I think it's actually Procter & Gamble.
Okay, so P&G might be you might be betting on P&G there. So
well, you've got Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder have just come out with some good results. So the thing is that typically beauty hasn't been that affected in recessions. This recession it has been, and consumers have traded down, but they've also traded down within beauty. So it has affected companies, but the beauty companies are doing sort of winning back quite quickly.
So Estee Lauder, you might good company?
Estee Lauder, I think, are a sound company. They own a number of brands, maybe 40 different brands. They're fairly well diversified into different businesses. They've also just announced that they're going to spend a lot more time selling direct to the consumer. So the problem that the beauty industry's had is not just with the consumer, it's actually with their primary customer, which are the retailers. So the retailers had a very tough time. And the retailers have cut inventory dramatically, and that then obviously affected the beauty companies.
And the inventories are built up.